you're stressed and baby's stressed, and you can sort of see how that can spiral. Oh, hello, lover. See, they're like a flip. Don't do that. Don't do that with your baby. Their lips are pursed tighter than your Mima's coin purse. Miniature piranha. All right, Rockstar, let's get you on the road to the best latch of your life. A good latch is one of the most important pieces in your breastfeeding puzzle because without it, your breastfeeding journey is probably going to be cut short. Now, I see you, okay? I breastfed 4 of my kids, but it was not without its own struggles. With my first baby, when I breastfed him, it was not pretty. It took a nipple shield, a lactation consultant, and really reworking that latch from the ground up to really get us on a great path, and then I never looked back. So by the end of this video, I'm going to give you 5 tips that is going to quickly and efficiently get you and your baby working towards the most beautiful latch of your breastfeeding journey. Now, first up, before we do anything, I need you to pregame here because preparation is really going to set you up for success when it comes to postpartum, and breastfeeding is no exception. And so I have a video up here for you. It's kind of like my breastfeeding basics. It goes over kind of everything that you need to know before you start breastfeeding. And even if you've started breastfeeding and you're having some struggles, it's still going to be a really, really good watch for some basic information. I do also have a breastfeeding course. You're going to find it right here. It has a ton of really, really helpful modules so that if you do ever hit those speed bumps in your journey moving forward, you know exactly where to go for the information you need to sort of smooth out those bumps along the road. Also important to note, you want to feed your baby on demand and not so much on a timed schedule, and you really want to pay attention to early hunger cues. Like I made you a little chart right here. These are some early hunger cues. Watch for those because you're going to have more success with latching your baby efficiently and having a really great nursing session when you latch them when they are starting to get hungry, as opposed to, I don't know, waiting till they are screaming like a bloody pterodactyl and then trying to latch them, because that's going to be really difficult. They're going to be kind of flailing. They're going to open their mouth and not be able to find the nipple, even though it's literally right there. It just becomes a whole lot more difficult. And then you're stressed and baby's stressed, and you can sort of see how that can spiral. So really, really pay attention to your baby's cues, especially while you are working out the kinks in your latch between you and your baby. Now, that's all the preamble that I have, so let's get into the meat of it. The biggest red flag of an ineffective latch is pain while breastfeeding. And I just want to shout that from the hilltops. But yes, it's going to feel a certain kind of way. Absolutely. You're not going to feel nothing. You're not like a stone breastfeeding your baby. You have a baby that's sucking on fresh postpartum nipples that have never been sucked on before for feeding purposes. Nipples that have never been sucked on for feeding purposes before. So certain kind of way, yes. Painful? No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be getting so painful that you want to quit. It shouldn't be getting more and more painful as the feed goes on. Your nipples should not be coming out of your baby's mouth cracked and bleeding or purple and bruised or white. None of that. If that is happening, that's our red flag to say something is going on with this latch, and I need you to start from the start, which I'm going to tell you about right now. Meet my crocheted baby Brian, but also meet my crocheted boob. And if you'd like to know why I'm using a crocheted boob instead of a boob that looks like a boob, it's because when I use the boob that looks like a boob and not the crocheted boob, YouTube doesn't like it, even though I'm just trying to teach you about breastfeeding. So someone could look into that for me. That would be really great. Step number 1 on your latch success list, it is going to be waiting for your baby to have a wide open mouth. Because if you latch your baby when their mouth is open nice and wide like this, it's going to be more successful than if you try to latch them like this when their lips are pursed tighter than your Mima's coin purse. Because this is going to lead to a shallow latch. It's not going to lead to an effective deep latch, which in turn will lead to more pain and probably a decreased milk output. So you want to wait for them to have an open mouth. And if you'd like to know how to get them to open their mouth, you just got to use their rooting reflex. That's a reflex where you sort of drag anything around their mouth and they open their mouth violently looking for a nipple anywhere, like a little miniature piranha. So what you can do is you can take your nipple and you can rub it on like the bottom middle of their lip. You can rub it on their cheeks, and then you wait. I know waiting's hard, but you're going to wait till they open their mouth nice and wide. Now, once they have that nice open mouth, step 2 is that you're going to want to bring baby to the breast. You don't want to bring the breast to baby. Because when you bring your breast to baby, what's going to happen is you're going to contort yourself into angles to make this work out. And it's going to lead you with a lot of pain in the upper shoulders and the upper upper back, which is really uncomfortable. And if you're uncomfortable, you're not going to want to breastfeed. So you want to bring your baby to the breast, but you also want to make sure that you are well supported in whatever breastfeeding position you choose. And you can do that with a breastfeeding pillow if that works for your ergonomics. You can stack up multiple different pillows. You can find a piece of furniture that supports you. Basically, make sure that your posture is good and bring baby to the breast. And I have seen my fair share of many, many different support items. My name is Tina. I'm a certified perinatal nurse. I'm also a certified breastfeeding specialist, and I am a mom of 4. And if you are new here, welcome to it. I'm glad you found me. Go ahead and click subscribe if you could, and stick around for even more fun videos to come. If you are not new here, thank you so much for coming back. Let's see what tip number 3 is. Your baby should be in a straight line when they're feeding at the breast, meaning their head is over their shoulders, is over their hips. Now, if your baby is latched like this, but their body is turned like this, I mean, first off, that doesn't look comfortable for anybody involved, but also this is not going to make for an easy nursing session. It's also not going to make it easy for your baby to practice and perfect the suck, swallow, breathe pattern. And that is the pattern that they need to be an effective feeder at the breast, but also efficient at emptying the milk out of your breasts. Now, the position that you find most comfortable for efficient feeding for this baby is probably going to be different than like your mom's, aunt's, friend's, great Aunt Sally's best friend's daughter. Also, if you have fed other babies before at the breast, the position that you love with this baby, it might actually be different than those babies because every breastfeeding journey is different. So I'm going to give you a few of my top picks for positions to try when you are learning to breastfeed. Starting off pretty basic, this one here, it is the cradle hold. This is the one that we see a lot in TV and in movies, and for some reason, we teach it in the hospital a lot. But I'm going to tell you, it's not one of my favorite positions, especially for inexperienced breastfeeding parents, because the baby's head is just kind of in the crook of your elbow here, all willy-nilly, and you're just sort of fumbling around and you don't have a lot of control. So what I would suggest instead of this cradle hold, especially for first-time parents, would be something called the cross-cradle. And for this, you're just going to take this hand and you're actually going to put it across the baby, cross cradle, and now you have baby's head in your hand, and it offers you a whole lot more control over their head to make sure things are going in the right angle. And then it also gives you this hand free to manipulate your breast tissue. So this one is really, really good for people with bigger breasts. This is also really good for our smaller babies, sometimes our preterm babies, because really you can help them to control that head in the right angles that you need. So this one is cross cradle. This is the one that I always give to parents on their first go on latching. This next position, it is great for women with larger breasts, but people with little boobies love it too. It's called the football hold. And so instead of baby being kind of across you like this, they're now like tucked on your side. See, like hut, like it's like a football. Like, see, they're like a foot. Don't do that. Don't do that with your baby. But this is the football hold. So they're going to be on one side or the other side, and the supports will be underneath your baby, and you'll be kind of tucked up this way, still in a straight line. You see that straight line always. And now you're going to tuck them up, and then you're going to use this hand to support their head, and then you have the other hand free to manipulate that breast tissue once again, and you can latch baby. The other reason this is great for people with larger breasts is that you can still actually see baby's face when they are on this angle in the football hold, whereas when they're across you, sometimes you can't see their face because of the breast tissue. So this one is nice so you can actually visualize baby's face. It's really, really comfy. The other great thing about it is C-section parents probably love this one because now you don't have baby across your midsection across a fresh incision. One of my absolute personal favorites was side lying, and I'm going to just figure out how I can show this to you. Hang tight. Oh, hello, lover. Hi there. Okay, so if you... I gave up and moved my camera, but as you can see, you're on your side, baby's on their side, and they are actually feeding from the breast that is down on the surface you're laying on. Now you can see it's very restful, which is why it was one of my favorites. It is perfect in those early days postpartum while you are recovering, but I will say this, caution, please have somebody with you who is alert and responsible because it is very, very easy to drift off in this nursing position. Also, safety features you can look into is not having a ton of extra pillows around you or blankets or anything soft and squishy. And finally, let's talk about laid back nursing. This is basically baby-led latching. It is really, really cool to see. This one is great if you had a C-section and you're still in the recovery room. Maybe your legs are super heavy. Maybe you just don't feel like you can really position yourself very easily. You can let the baby do all of the heavy lifting. And all you're going to do here is you're going to lay with your baby kind of on your chest, just like this. And we're going to watch them do something called the breast crawl because the Montgomery glands in your areola, they actually secrete something that smells like amniotic fluid to help your baby to find your nipple nipples. How wild is that? So if you lay back and you make sure baby is safe on you, they are eventually going to kind of bob their head around until they find your nipple. And then they're actually going to do it themselves. They're going to come up and over and latch onto your nipple and start feeding. It is really, really cool to see. And you just got to make sure that they have their little nostrils free to breathe, and you can just lay back and rest while your baby is feeding. Tip number 4, when you bring baby to the breast, I want you to angle it slightly so that your nipple is pointing towards their nose and so that their chin comes in contact with the bottom of your breast first. And there's 2 good reasons for this. The first is that we want your nipple to actually land quite far back in your baby's mouth. That is where their sucking reflex is located. That's what's going to trigger them to really start to suck and move that milk. And right now, if you take your own tongue and you put it on the roof of your mouth and you run it backwards until that hard palate turns a little bit soft, that is how far back we want your nipple to land in your baby's mouth for effective breastfeeding. Wild, right? The other reason is that when your baby's chin comes in contact with the bottom of your breast first, it sort of forces them to come up and over the nipple to latch onto the breast, which sort of ensures that it's going to be a deeper latch because they're going to have more of that breast tissue in their mouth. And the last step, now that your baby is latched, is to assess it. Like, how did we do? Kind of a look, listen, and feel situation, except with boobs, it's more like feel, look, and listen, okay? So feel it out. How does it feel? Is it comfortable? Is it feeling better than the ineffective latch that you are trying to work on? Be like, yeah, okay, that feels pretty good. That's pretty comfortable. Bing, bing, bing. That's what we are looking for. If you're feeling it and you're like, oh man, that is really painful. That is still painful. It's not getting better. Bah, I want you to stop, head back to tip number 1 and start again. Now I want you to look at your baby's latch, which can be tough. So I want you to either take a picture, have somebody take a video, use a mirror, whatever you need to do, but sort of take a peek at what they are doing while they're latched onto your breast. The first thing you want to look at is the angle of their mouth. You're looking for a nice wide angle of their mouth. Think about the logo of the Special K cereal, that K, that red one. That's an angle of 140 degrees. That's the angle that we are hoping baby has on their mouth, a nice wide angle, because that means that they are latched nice and deep. If the angle of your baby's mouth is like this teeny tiny angle, this is a shallow latch. And this kind of a latch with a small angle, it's going to lead you to pain. It's also going to lead you to a decreased milk supply. So we really want to take a peek at the angle of that mouth. The next thing I want you to look at are your baby's lips. What are they doing? Are they flanged out? Kind of like a fish, kind of like this, so that they are flat up against the skin of your breast. Maybe not like a fish, like a duck lips. That's that millennials we used to do the duck lips. Yeah, you want them flanged out. What you don't want is baby's lips pursed and tucked under like this, kind of like gumming at the breast. Because again, this is not a deep latch. This is going to leave you with pain and big time problems down the road. So look at their lips. Now I want you to listen to what your baby is doing. You should not hear any extra sounds, any clicking, kind of like that. Because if they are clicking, that means that their tongue is slipping. And what they usually do inside, they have their tongue cupped underneath like this. This is what's creating them suction, and then they suckle like this. But if you're hearing, what's happening is their tongue is breaking suction, and so they aren't able to get a nice deep latch. That is going to be very, very painful for your nipples in the long run. The other thing I want you to listen for is the suck, swallow, breathe pattern that we talked about before, because eventually an efficient feeder, that's what it's going to sound like. It's going to be a suck, a swallow, and a breathe in that pattern. In the beginning, they might have to suck more than the swallows. It might be like suck, 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 swallow, suck, 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 swallow. But as that milk transitions and they get more efficient at breastfeeding, it'll basically be suck, swallow, breathe. Suck, swallow, breathe. Now, my littlest baby, my last baby, she was a bit of an overachiever. She had the most beautiful latch, and I got a beautiful video of her, and you can listen, you can hear the suck, swallow, breathe. You can see that big angle of the lips. You can see her lips flange out. I want to show it to you because I'm a visual learner, so I'm going to let you watch it, and you can really take a peek at what an efficient latch really looks and sounds like. This wouldn't be a complete video about getting a better latch if we didn't talk briefly about tongue and lip ties in babies, because yes, some babies are born with a tongue tie or a lip tie, also known as oral tethers, and these can cause big issues in your baby's ability to latch nice and deep, and because they are shallow, it can lead you to have pain when you are breastfeeding. It can also lead you to sort of tank your milk supply because they are not efficiently removing that milk from the breast when they are nursing. I will say this though, Just because your baby has a lip or tongue tie does not necessarily mean that that lip or tongue tie needs to be clipped. I think a lot of times people jump to clipping it when maybe it's not actually necessary. So here's my thoughts. If you believe that your baby may have a tongue or a lip tie, and then here are some signs and symptoms of what might happen if your baby does happen to have a lip or a tongue tie or an oral tether. So take a peek at that list. But if you're thinking, that might be a possibility here, an IBCLC is going to be your biggest ally, because not only are they going to look to see if your baby has a lip or a tongue tie, they're going to do a thorough health history, but they're also going to do a feeding assessment. They're going to watch your baby feed. They're going to watch your baby's latch. They're going to try to problem solve and troubleshoot that latch before they just jump to saying you should clip this tongue tie. They can be a really, really great tool in sort of helping you to better your breastfeeding journey. Let me know if you do want more information on tongue and lip ties, those oral tethers. I can put something together for you, or I can send you in the direction of some amazing resources of IBCLCs that I love to follow and listen to and learn from over on social media. Hopefully something in here will help improve that breastfeeding journey moving forward. Or maybe you haven't had your baby yet, you're doing that prep work, which is amazing. This playlist is going to be for you. This has all of my videos on breastfeeding, lots of stuff on the basics, on latching. It has lots of stuff on breast pumps and nipple sizing and how to increase your supply, you name it. It is in that playlist right there for you. If you like this one, show it some love. Click on those notifications for me. And as always, be happy, stay healthy, have fun.